The Rosacrocian Order A.M.O.R.C is one of the most dynamic philosophical and educational organizations in the world. Rosacrocians are men and women who study natural laws in order to live in harmony with them. This non-sectarian esoteric group has its roots in early 17th century Europe, with a traditional history that goes back much farther than that, all the way back to the ancient mystery schools of Egypt and Greece. How did the Rosacrocians come to North America? And how did the Rosacrocian Order A.M.O.R.C begin? This program presents the inspiring life and vision of A.M.O.R.C's founder, H. Spencer Lewis, and the restoration of Rosacrocianism. Harvey Spencer Lewis was born on November 25, 1883, in Frenchtown, New Jersey. A few years later, his family moved to nearby New York City, where he was raised. His father, Aaron Lewis, was a farmer, college teacher, professional calligrapher, handwriting expert, and genealogist. His mother, Catherine, was a teacher. H. Spencer Lewis's family environment contributed much to the development of his mystical sensitivity. Not content with simply attending church on Sunday, the family read and also discussed the Bible at home. Until he was 16 years old, young Harvey participated enthusiastically in the activities of the Metropolitan Temple of New York City, also known as the Church of the Open Door. He loved to sing in the choir, and he listened attentively to the sermons of Dr. S. Parks Cadman, the church pastor and a pioneering radio minister. H. Spencer Lewis often spent his free time meditating in this church, and it was here that he had his first mystical experiences. These experiences had such an impact on his soul that he was led to question himself about the profound nature of humanity and the possibility of establishing a dialogue between the soul and the higher worlds. In 1900, H. Spencer Lewis completed his schooling and found employment in Baker & Taylor Publishing Company. This job allowed him to have at his disposal many books that helped satisfy his insatiable curiosity. Included among these were books about magnetism, a subject introduced to the United States in 1836 by Charles Poyon, a follower of Puisségur. This was at a time when the United States, and New York City in particular, was passionately interested in the supernatural, magnetism, and spiritualism. Out of this infatuation arose both New Thought and the American Society for Psychical Research, two movements that would have a profound effect on the early years of Harvey Spencer Lewis. In contrast to the Theosophical Society, established in the United States in 1875 by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, New Thought rejected pure occultism. It proposed instead a method of individual expansion oriented towards self-realization by means of concrete applications meant to resolve everyday problems. Research on undiscovered human faculties also interested the scientific establishment. In 1885, the renowned American psychologist William James established in Boston the American Society for Psychical Research, a branch of the organization located in London. In 1905, following the death of its director, Dr. Richard Hodgson, this psychic research society ceased its activities. However, within a few years, various other groups were formed, such as a special committee investigating fraudulent spiritualistic mediums, of which H. Spencer Lewis was a member from 1902. Although he was not yet 20 years old, H. Spencer Lewis was named president of this committee. In March 1903, he married Molly Goldsmith, and the following year they had a son, Ralph Maxwell Lewis. H. Spencer Lewis was at that time the arts editor of the New York Evening Herald and presided over a committee created by the newspaper for investigating mediums. It was with the assistance of this daily that he created the New York Institute for Psychical Research, a group composed of scientists and physicians. Among members of the Institute were such noted individuals as the writer and poetess Ella Wheeler Wilcox and Dr. Isaac Kaufman Funk, best known for his work on psychic science, which included the widow's mite and other psychic phenomena, and the psychic riddle. Under the direction of Harvey Spencer Lewis, the New York Institute for Psychical Research conducted investigations examining the true abilities of mediums, which resulted in more than 50 fakes being unmasked. During this period, Lewis published many articles concerning his researches in the New York Herald and in the New York World. One of the articles, entitled Greatest Psychic Wonder of 1906, published in January 1907 in the New York Sunday World with a portrait of the author, discussed the experiments conducted by the New York Institute for Psychical Research with a young Indian medium. These researches left Lewis dissatisfied, as he found it difficult to believe that the phenomena produced through mediums were derived from the manifestation of spirits. Rather, he was persuaded that they originated in spiritual faculties yet unknown.